on, guys? Welcome to another episode of No Holds Barred Wrestling Podcast, the wrestling podcast where we talk about anything going on in WWE and no holds barred on what we say. I am your host, as always, Kyle Masters. I'm alone in the studio for this. This is basically the Raw after WrestleMania review. It is so good. It's basically pay-per-view quality that it needs its own review. After that, we'll go back to a regular podcast weekly. This was a pretty crazy Raw tonight. For you guys missed it, I suggest you go watch it. It was actually pretty nuts. I mean, just like every Raw after WrestleMania, you still have the same European/North American crowd pretty amped up from the night before. I mean, it was an insane WrestleMania, so they're going to be jacked up for this. Kicking off the show, you had Brock Lesnar come out, and my God, he was so over with the crowd. I've never seen Brock Lesnar this over before. This was crazy. Basically, he came to the ring already in his ring gear too, which made the crowd go even more buzzy because they're like, shit, he's gonna actually fight on Raw. He came out, Paul Heyman talking about him and talking about his match, how he got screwed. Basically wanting his rematch clause tonight and not Extreme Rules, not at SummerSlam, not all this shit, which was pretty nice. The crowd going ballistic, and then Stephanie McMahon comes out to fucking huge boos. Oh my God, she got killed with boos. It was nuts. Saying Seth Rollins was still on the flight, but even though, he really is backstage, saying he was on a flight and their match would happen later on tonight. Now, is this a Lesnar face turn? I mean, I know they knew he was going to get the biggest pop with the WrestleMania crowd, but I guess they would have to see what the crowd reaction is in the future with Lesnar. I mean, they had plans of making Lesnar a future babyface, but I wonder if this is the start. I mean, he even embraced the crowd cheering him. He had a little smile on his face. Not like he wanted to play heel and get them to start booing him. But you know what? This could be the Brock Lesnar face turn, and I'm kind of intrigued to see what happens from there. But after that, we had the IC title match. This was an epic match between Dolph Ziggler and Daniel Bryan for the IC title. The crowd was split right down the middle. It was crazy. Half the people wanted Daniel Bryan. Half the people wanted Ziggler to win. This match needs to happen again. This was epic. I mean, I love the prestige and how WWE is bringing the prestige level up on these minor titles. This is amazing. Matches like this need to happen more often with the IC title, and I'm glad it looks like WWE is going in that direction. This match was crazy. A lot of good spots here and there. Unfortunately for Ziggler, he did not claim the IC title. Daniel Bryan retained in a really, really good match. After the match, Bear kind of stormed the ring, and we kind of knew it because he was at commentary, so we knew he had to get involved somehow. He's about to give Daniel Bryan the ball hammer, and then Sheamus returns in a weird look. What the fuck was going on with his complexion and his hair? This guy had the pointiest mohawk, and it just looked stupid as hell. And his beard was so long that he twirled it in these little, braided knot things all over his beard, and he just looked so ridiculous. It looked dumb. I know I don't know. Even the crowd was chanting, "You look stupid." You look stupid when you had the entire crowd chanting, "You look stupid." Oh my God, he looked like a fucking goofball. Anyways, looked like he was going to save Bryan. Ends up kicking Daniel Bryan. So this is the heel Sheamus that we were hearing the rumors about. Then he gives the white noise to Ziggler. And then that's it. He grabs a title and says, "I'm back." And that's pretty much it. And no one liked the look. He looked really ridiculous, but yep, Sheamus returning though, as a heel, as it was predicted, and we'll see where he goes from there. I think this is going to be a possibly IC title feud. Whether or not it's going to include Ziggler and Barrett in it as well. Maybe there'll be a fatal 4-way at Extreme Rules. So we'll have to see on that. I'm hoping it ends up being a fatal 4-way. That'd be pretty cool to see. Or in just a one-on-one match with Sheamus that we've already seen in the past. But yeah, moving on. We got a couple NXT debuts tonight. We'll start off with the Lucha Dragons. I mean, they're not really their debut on the main roster. I mean, they were on Superstars main event a couple times, but this is their Monday Night Raw debut. And oh my God, the Lucha Dragons were surprisingly over. I mean, in the past, I admit I've made fun of these guys, and I wasn't really like I never got into the Lucha Dragons. But after looking at their tapes a little bit more now and watching their match tonight on Raw, you know what? I'm a Lucha Dragons fan, especially Kalisto. He literally carries that tag team. So Sin Cara just there doing a couple of good spots, but definitely Kalisto carries that tag team. He's an insane lucha wrestler. Oh my god! But they were hugely over, even over Cesaro and Kid, who were over at WrestleMania. But they look insane, man. It's sad to say I'm saying that for Sin Cara, but they both look insane. They have a lot of potential to be a really good tag team in the future. They just need the crowd to stay over with them as they did last night, and the crowd even like doing their like the double arm lucha thing with his theme song. It looked nice. And Kalisto's finisher, speaking of nice, is unreal. That is so nice. I forget what they call it, but it's actually pretty dope. If you haven't seen it, go look at Kalisto's finisher. It's definitely an unreal move. Moving on to another NXT debut tonight, we had Adrian Neville. I guess he interrupted Axelmania and doing his little spiel about the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, and he came out. He was over, but Neville never looking better. Beating Axelmania in literally like a 4-minute match. It's a quick squash match. He used the red arrow, which is good. I guess a good thing they're still keeping that as his finisher. He's being announced as just Neville, not Adrian Neville, but just Neville. Kind of like when Cesaro started just getting announced as Cesaro and not Antonio Cesaro. So, I don't really give a shit about the name change. He's still the same character. He's still using the same moves, but he's never looked better. Good job on Neville's debut, and we'll hopefully see a lot more good things to come. Moving on, we had the John Cena Open Challenge. He gave an open challenge to anyone for his United States Championship. And oh my God, literally the whole crowd when he came out, not even just like a section, literally the whole crowd, and it was so loud, was chanting John Cena sucks with his theme song. Oh my God, that was the loudest I've ever heard that done, and it was so freaking funny. I know me in my corporate Capian no self-fill here, my co-host, sorry, wanted John Cena to win so bad at WrestleMania, and he did, and we were cheering for him. But that was the only time that we were going to cheer for John Cena, and we found it extremely hilarious last night. The crowd chanting his theme song, it was the best. But entering the open challenge was Dean Ambrose. I was so surprised he was even there after what we seen last night. I literally didn't think he was going to be walking for a bit, but he was there and he looked better than ever. It's like it never happened. I mean, yeah, it's a spot in wrestling and they were preparing for it, but that was crazy last night at WrestleMania. I don't think you could have wrestled the next night on Raw after that bump. It was just nuts. But I thought it was going to be Rusev personally. I thought it was just going to be another rematch for the U.S. title and John Cena beating him, but ends up being Dean Ambrose, and it actually turned out to be a really good match. A couple of "This Is Awesome" chants from the crowd, and the crowd still singing John Cena's name during the match. So when John Cena did the "You Can't See Me" 5-knuckle shuffle, he did it to the crowd. He looked at the crowd and went, "You can't see me," and did it, which is kind of funny. And Cena obviously ends up winning, despite the crowd. John Cena, despite the crowd, guys, John Cena does make sense as the champion. I think he should keep it for another 3 months or so. I mean, probably going to look that way because they just released his new T-shirt. But John Cena as a U.S. champion makes sense. I mean, they're bringing the prestige level more higher with Daniel Bryan as IC champion. Now they're doing the same thing, the U.S. title, which is sick. Like, this is what we need to see, and this is what we predicted months and months ago in our podcast that what WWE should do, and now they're doing it. And me and my co-host couldn't be more than happier than what they're doing with these minor titles. They're finally getting the prestige level that they deserve, and I'm so intrigued to see what WWE does with them in the future. But moving on, we have I'm still called the Give Divas a Chance, another tag team match. The Give Divas a Chance tag team match, great. They could have done a title match for the Divas title. They had to do another fucking tag team match, like just what we wanted to see, right? I'm glad they're giving Divas a chance. I mean, WWE is fucking giving Divas a chance to fucking just be a shit show. Like, I just don't get it. I mean, they keep talking about how they're gonna give the Divas division a boost, and right after WrestleMania, and like the whole "Give Divas a Chance" thing the hashtag was trending. but they put them in a stupid tag team match. Like, is this really giving divas a push? Like, where were the NXT divas that everyone thought they were going to be brought up? Like Charlotte or Bailey, like someone to come up and like get some exposure or crack the roster. Like, what's going on here? Why do they have to have a stupid? Oh man, I thought they're supposed to make the Raw after WrestleMania worth watching, and that really wasn't that much worth watching, except for my girl Paige. I mean, that's probably the only reason why I watched the Divas tag team match. But we'll have to see. I really hope they improve that Divas division, because after watching that, I'm still shaking my head at WWE right now. But moving on, we actually had the title match looking like it was going to start. We had Brock Lesnar and Seth Rollins in the ring, looking like they're about to fight. And Seth Rollins kind of rolls out of the ring with his title and says, "Yeah, probably not tonight. Maybe another night." And crowd getting heavily booing Seth Rollins. I mean, they were cheering him when he first came out, but Rollins starts to run away, but Lesnar catches him and beats the living shit out of him. And he's about to give him an F5. J&J security get in the way, and then Seth Rollins is able to escape, but then Brock Lesnar sees he escaped and just loses his fucking mind here. He launches J&J security across the European table that they had there. I'm not sure why it was even there, but just whip him across it, and then he just flips over the regular announce table, and Booker T and JBL get stuck underneath, but then Michael Cole tries to run away, and Brock Lesnar grabs him, puts him in the ring, and then F5s Michael Cole literally right out of his fucking shoes. I know my co-host Corporate Cappy was loving that. I remember talking to him about it. He couldn't believe it. That was probably the best part of the night for him. And then after he's done Michael Cole, he grabs a camera guy, and we're guessing it's Marty, the cross-dressing cameraman. Don't worry, your secret's safe with us at NHBWP. Grabs him, throws him in the ring, and then gives him an F5. And he's about to do it again, and we have Stephanie McMahon come out. Great, Stephanie is sick. She comes out and threatens Brock Lesnar to put him down. He doesn't, gives another F5 to Marty, and then Stephanie McMahon suspends him indefinitely. Freaking great. Now we know what is going to happen. Okay, bye-bye Brock Lesnar for a couple months now, and now he's just suspended indefinitely and being fined almost 7 figures, apparently, according to the storyline. We know he's not actually getting fined, but still. But great, now Brock Lesnar's going to be written off TV for a while, just as if he was getting extremely over and becoming a babyface. Now he's being written off TV. I mean, this is still in a way that they could make him a babyface, but the way Brock Lesnar's schedule is, we're probably not going to see him for a while now. So, fantastic, WWE. Way to get our hopes up. Moving on to the last match. I mean, the ending of Raw was a tag team match. Like, I feel like we're watching SmackDown or something. But it's just, there's no surprises. It's literally too boring to talk about. Like, sick, Roman Reigns won. Yay. Fucking what an ending to Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania. Just I can't even talk about it. That's all I'm talking about that. And I guess after Raw, Sting had an interview in the ring on his future. He was so over, and basically he was asked about his future. What was this, the last of Sting? He said he hopes not, and then the whole crowd starts chanting Undertaker. Sting gives a kind of a smirk, so who knows? Maybe it'll be Sting and Undertaker next year, WrestleMania 32, as a send-off match for both of them. So who knows? I mean, we'll have to see. But Bo Dallas then comes out so randomly. I don't know what the fuck Bo Dallas had to do with anything. He just came out and told Sting, like, don't worry, you gotta believe, doing his little promo. And Sting gives him the Scorpion Death Drop to kind of send the crowd home happy after that horrendous tag team main event. But yeah, overall, this Raw after WrestleMania was pretty amazing. I mean, a lot of 2 good matches with those minor titles, and Brock Lesnar freaking out was pretty good. But I think they could have done a little bit better. I mean, you're supposed to make it like really worth watching the Raw after WrestleMania, but I don't know. We'll see what happens in the next coming weeks up to Extreme Rules, guys. So no more reviews right now. You're just gonna stick to our weekly podcast on some news and what's going on in WWE. But as always, I'm your host, Kyle Masters, and this has been No Holds Barred Wrestling Podcast, a wrestling podcast where we talk about anything that's going on in WWE and there's no holds barred on what we say. And that's it.